You've waited a lifetime to look better and feel better, and now here's your chance. Fitness Friday on WNDB. Call 239-0033 and have your questions answered on health, fitness, and a better life. Fitness Friday is brought to you by Bodez by Tasso & Company, 1140 West Granada Boulevard in Ormond Beach. And now, here's your host, Tasso Kyriakis.
Welcome to Fitness Friday. This is Tasso Kyriakis of Bodez Personalized Fitness, and we're happy to be here on this great and good Friday for everybody.
It's a very good Friday.
It's a very good Friday. You know, we have Passover in the midst of it. We'll end on Tuesday. We have the Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. We're celebrating our Easter, so we don't get to buy our candy at half price this year.
I know. I'm sorry for you.
It's you guys' Easter, so we can all celebrate together. In fact, I want to remind everybody at St. Demetrius Greek Orthodox Church on Sunday afternoon around 12 o'clock, we will be serving an Easter dinner for people who don't have any place to go. So I'll be down there cooking with my son-in-law. He works for Tom Pop over here, and he's a good little cook. So we're going to be down there working that morning and get the food out for everybody for a nice Easter dinner. If you want details on it, you can call 252-6012. And I just hope everybody has a great weekend. It's a weekend that gives us great reasons to be together. Your kids are out of school because it's a Good Friday. It's a nice time to enjoy different things and worship in your church or
there's somebody that you can probably help back here. I'm not going to mention any names, but the other day I came in and he was working back there, and he had a storage bag full of donuts. It must have been 6 glazed donuts. Over here, some other pastries in this bag. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I got to eat these before sundown. Get my carbs in before Passover begins."
Right.
The unleavened bread and all
that.
Right,
unleavened bread now.
So he's going to chow down before the day.
Oh, well. I don't like donuts, so it's okay. I couldn't have helped him that way. Well, listen.
No, he wasn't asking for any help.
I know. I gathered that. But, we could have helped him by taking some of off his hands if we so desired.
I don't need it myself.
Hey, Dave, I deal with an awful lot of elite as well as recreational competitive, runners. So, a lot of people are going to run the beach run and things of that nature, and they run 5Ks. And I see in here lots of false ideas about weight training anywhere you look. I mean, from women, I get false ideas. People who talk about weight loss. Mm-hmm. But today, I want to do a little primer to help you become a stronger runner safely and appropriately. Because, running by its nature, when it began with Ken Cooper, becomes a type of activity that we tend to get caught up in. More is better. Training every day is better, kind of thing. And that's really, when it first started, that was how it was given to us. The goal was Ken Cooper wrote that book, The Aerobic Way, and he gave us aerobic points, and you should try and earn as many aerobic points as you could earn. And those aerobic points, what they basically transitioned to is you were something to be competitive with yourself to try and do more and more every week. Well, in 1984, when he wrote the book of Total Wellness, he sort of retracted some of those statements and inspired people to run so much. So this article I read, it's in the April issue of Running Times magazine, and it can be found at runnersworld.com. It's runnerworld.com, race training, strength training, misconceptions, okay? So the number one misconception I hear a lot about is runners don't need to lift weights. To get stronger, run more. Okay, so the truth of that myth is that running is in the optimal balance. So, we talk about stress and recovery. It's very important to have this optimal balance of volume, intensity, and then your pace-specific work for when you're out. And that's always the focus of a distance runner. Chris Kelly, who's become a great friend and for a long time was running the marathon training program before he became a judge. I have the opportunity to train Chris every week, and every week one of the discussions we have is, what did you do this week, Rick? Chris, because we want to make sure we pick the right exercises to be specific to, not overtraining. So strength training, however, represents a different physiological stimulus. It's one that includes a host of distinct benefits for running that running doesn't provide. Mm-hmm. They're crucial to optimal performance as well. Strength training works 2 ways. It prevents injuries, and it enhances performance. Properly performed strength training provides a foundation for injury-free running and the ability to adhere to a regimen of mileage, speed, and tempo work. Numerous studies have proven that strength training will enhance running performance. One of the major ways is increasing upper body strength, which we'll talk about a little bit later. A 2013 review of research in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science and Sports showed that resistance training improves running economy and endurance muscle fibers. Other studies have linked weight training to better body composition and resting metabolic rates. As we age, strength training is particularly important as recent studies have proven that running does not protect against the gradual loss of lean body tissue. In fact, you see that we may lose some of that lean body tissue if we overtrain and the stress factor is too much. So we also lose a larger percentage of our fast twitch muscle fibers, which are very important for putting out our that explosive ability that we have. And as we age, we know that we do that. So myth number one is that we don't need to strength train in order to perform better, is that we just need to get stronger, we need to run more. And the truth is that we do need this control of balance, of recovery and stress on the body, and the way and the benefits of strength training can help us. Myth number two is lift on your off or easy days to balance your hard run efforts. It is optimal to piggyback strength training workouts with quality runs. For example, do a tempo run in the morning followed by a 20 to 30 minute workout at noon or evening. The work complements the training effect of the running. Then you fully recover for both on easy days. Again, what I like to try and encourage people to do, Dave, is to take their run first and then the strength training. Because so I don't want to strength train somebody and send them out to run on a weakened muscular sleeve. So I want my people to, for instance, Ira Heller, a good friend of ours from Bright House, was in a regimen training 5 days a week. We changed his regimen. We said, Ira, let's do this so we prevent injury. Let's train Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, go run, and then when you come in, we're going to have an abbreviated workout for you. Now, optimally, what I really like to see is about a 4-hour break. In his case, his work schedule doesn't allow it. Okay. So what we do is we do it right afterwards, but we tone down the intensity of the workout so that we derive a benefit. You need myth number three. You notice I didn't tell you how many myths I'm going to get through, Dave, because you're going to give me grief because we have Dr. Fong coming in.
9:30. We have 14 minutes and 44 seconds
right, we'll
remaining.
See what we do. Myth number three. You need to strength train several times a week to see benefits. Truth. A very small amount of strength training can stimulate tremendous benefit. Strength training only once or twice per week if you have a strong regimen. Again, having the pleasure of working with so many of the triathletes who are in their 50s now, one of the things I have encouraged them to do, the deal we have is this. We're going to train one time because more is not necessarily better. Total weekly strength training time commitment should be 30 to 60 minutes tops. Right. In my case, with these guys that are triathletes, guys and girls who are triathletes, I tell them, listen, we only need to strength train once a week because you're doing so much between your swimming and your biking and your running. We don't need that. The only agreement that I ask them to adhere to is that the day we strength trained, the next day is a total relaxation and rest day. A day of good nutrition, good rest. If they're going to get a massage, that's a great day to get a massage because some of them, have that regular schedule set up. Myth number 4, the key area to work is the core. Running works all other areas. The truth is that research indicates that the upper body, lower body, and midsection strength training all contribute to improved running performance. You should do exercises that involve all the major muscle groups rather than specifically training an area that you assume is weak. You're better off developing strength in all muscle groups, which will create balance and synergy. And again, for years, I would try to convince people the reason they needed to train their upper body if they were runners is by having a stronger upper body, you actually can increase your stride length. Myth number 5, body weight exercises are more basic and appropriate for runners than going into a weight room. The truth is, a strength training exercise is simply a biomechanical or anatomic movement with resistance. The resistance may come from a band, a machine, body weight, or a free weight. Our muscles can't decipher where the resistance originates. Listen, resistance is resistance, a contraction is a contraction. That's why isometric exercises work the same as doing a full range of motion. There are benefits to each, but that's why we try and combine all of those styles. So a lunge, a squat, a leg press are essentially the same exercise. They involve knee extension and hip extension caused by the glutes and the quadriceps. Over the years, we've come to look at a certain number of exercises more elementary, but there is really no scientific or theoretical basis for this. For example, say some say beginners shouldn't bench press. They should do push-ups instead. But a push-up represents far too much resistance for some people. A bench press, or a variation on a machine that moves in a press manner, allows for many different resistance increments from light to heavy. Therefore, it can be more appropriate for beginners. What this goes back to, Dave, is when I've said in the past where they take people who are at a rehab efforts and they want to build their strength of their legs, and they have them do a body weight squat, okay? When they do that, that person may weigh 200 pounds and may not have the strength to lift 75 pounds. So if they're trying to lift their 200-pound body, what do they have to do? They have to hold on to bars, and it's really not an accurate measurement of their strength at that point because they don't know how much they're holding on with their hands or legs. So when we are able to do that exercise, say with a leg press, or this is an example I'm using here is a chest press or a bench press. If you're able to do a leg press, let's say you weigh 100 pounds or 200 pounds, and you just had surgery, and I can start you with 50 pounds. We know that you're 25% of your body weight. So we know when it would be more appropriate to then say, hey, maybe I should try a body weight exercise. So body weight exercises are more basic and appropriate for runners than going in the weight room is a myth, the truth I've just gone through. Myth number 6, right. Lift with quick movements to work power and improve speed. Now, you know that one of my basic concepts that I have when it talks about conditioning yourself is that strength training and resistance training, as I've tried to get myself adapted to calling it, is a very general application to the body. Whereas things like playing golf are skills, and the skills are specific to the exercise or specific to the sport that you're playing. So what I want you to encourage you to do is understand that strength is general, skill is specific. Practice the skill of your sport. Strength train and condition yourself in a general manner to make all your performance. Now back to number 6 here, which is lift in a quick movement to work power and improve speed. It's more effective to lift and lower weights slowly. Take 2 or 3 seconds to lift a weight and at least 4 to 10 seconds to lower the weight. A mantra for the distance runner is to become fast, lift slowly. If you move quickly, you incorporate momentum that unloads your muscle and minimizes muscle fiber involvement. Okay, so what I'm saying here is that we want our exercise of lifting to be about muscle and involving muscle. Additionally, the faster you move, the greater forces are imposed on your joints and your connective tissue, and there's a greater risk of injury. Let's think about this. When you're out there running, you're trying to run as hard as you can, and force equals mass times acceleration. So the faster you run or the heavier you are, the more forces that go on the joint. So what we want to do is we want to control that effort so that we do not put all these forces on our muscles, and we're able to stay in a form that really helps us to get better. To create an explosive movement without the risk of fast movement, have the intent to lift the weight as fast as possible. You possibly, near the end of the set of exercise, let me come back and say, if you want to get that explosive movement in, the safe way to do that is when you're at fatigue and you're unable to lift it, make that explosive movement into the exercise. In other words, I'll tell my runners, and we know now that research has showed us this is one of the ways to sustain your fast twitch muscle fiber, which is so important for sprinters in that. So what I'm saying is you lift the weight slowly, you get the fatigue, and at the very end of the set, what you do is you drive as hard as you can as if you're going to explode. You won't be able to explode because your muscles should be fatigued. Now, I say again, you want to keep it under constant load, all right? So, and again, this is not what I would advocate for everybody. I would advocate strength training on a slow basis, but if you're one of those guys, this is what's something I do with some of my elite, older athletes, is that I have them, when they're really at fatigue, I say, okay, give it to me as hard as you can give it to me on the push. And that elicits a response to the fast twitch muscle fiber. It's, the fast movement will be impossible at that point, but from the muscle fiber recruitment standpoint, it is fast twitch training. This type of strength training is safer than, say, plyometric exercises. It's also great for the people we have that are in their 70s and 80s, because when we train slow and they get to that point where they fatigue and they make that big, hard effort to push as hard as they can, they're maintaining and recruiting some of that fast twitch muscle fiber that's so important to stop us from falling. Myth number 7, you need to do lots of reps to build endurance, strength for distance running. The truth is the number of repetitions is not critically important. Runners have been told to perform high numbers of reps to specifically enhance muscle endurance. Research has revealed that doing 5 reps or 20 reps will produce the same benefit in terms of muscle strength and endurance. The key is the time under load, okay? The time under work. And if we make that a 60-second time frame and we slow the pace down, it might only be 3 reps. I hope to have, I got Ellington Darden's newest book. It's called The Fat Loss Breakthrough. And in it, he talks about a new style of lifting. It's not new because he has been really using it for quite a long time. It is. I remember reading about it from a little thing he sent out years ago, and it was to start with a heavier weight and do a 30-second negative. In other words, let the weight down on 30 seconds, pull it back on 30 seconds, and let it down on 30 seconds. 1 repetition. In fact, my workout partners and I experimented with it back in the mid-'90s, and he uses it to increase the intensity of the exercise. Now, the exercise lasts a minute and a half, okay? What will change is the resistance you use. So we want to make sure that we are time under load, and that is a very quality and efficient work on the muscle. Myth number 8, and Dave, believe it or not, with 6 minutes left till we bring Dr. Fawn in here.
I think you'll make it.
I'm going to make it.
I think you will.
Use light weights and don't exhaust yourself when lifting for distance running. The fact of the matter is that many runners assume that lifting heavy weights will predispose to injury, when in fact fast movements that create high external forces on joints predispose to injury. Lift a weight heavy enough to exhaust you, and anywhere, depending on the body part, from 8 to 20 reps. Train to the point of momentary muscle fatigue. Focus on continuing each set of exercises until one is utterly impossible to complete. You can't complete another perfect rep. This ensures optimal muscle fiber involvement and also allows to open up the door for some of that fast twitch muscle fiber. So now Dave, why did I get into the part of reading a runner's magazine and that from this perspective of this article? Well, here's why. Is because I'm looking for ways to excite people about our new Fitness on Demand program, which we put in at Bodez Personalized Fitness. And the Fitness on Demand program, what it is it is a program that offers over 122 different classes. It offers the Pilates, it offers the kickboxing, it offers the step, it offers all these things. There is a regular schedule of classes which covers about 30 classes a week, 30 sessions a week, because we repeat some of the classes, like some of the dance classes are more popular. Now let's say you want a yoga class, or you want a meditation class, or you want a boxing class, or you want a spinning class. As a member of Bodez, you can walk up, pick the class you want, hit the play button, and you yourself, by yourself, or with friends that you have that you work out with, can go in and take this class. That's our new Fitness on Demand program. It gives you the class you want at the time you want it with the best instructors in the country. Because the people who are teaching these classes to you via the video streaming that we have downloaded, they are the best instructors in the country. So imagine having a calendar, or having a calendar, but a room full of tapes of only the best instructors, which Shape Magazine or whoever you looked at said, this is a 5-star video, as they do. Okay? Those people are who are teaching these classes. 122 different classes varying in times from 9 minutes to up to the traditional hour of a class. You now get this included in your Bodez Personalized Fitness memberships. The most popular membership we have is our Body Coach membership. And right now, that membership is a $14 enrollment fee, followed by your monthly dues beginning next month. You'll pay $14 to join, you'll pay a $20 card fee, and your dues will begin next month for the Body Coach membership. Now, in this membership, you're going to get the Fitness on Demand and the ability to reserve a class 24 hours in advance. You'll have supervised exercise where we take you through your first 3 workouts, your 12th workout, your 24th workout, your 36th workout, and your 48th workout as a consultation. You'll receive one one-on-one session per month. You'll receive a free guest privileges for the people who want to come and work out with you in the Body Coach area or the Bodez Express area. You'll also receive the our TOSA training, our relaxation training. So you have supervised exercise, you have fitness on demand, and the other new program we've added in is called our Appointment with Fitness, where you get the attention of the one-on-one programming, but with our supervised exercise. So you say, I'm going to work out in this time frame next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, between 10 and 1. If you don't make it in that time frame, you're going to get a phone call from the staff. 672-6464 is the phone number at Bodez Personalized Fitness. Please give us a call. We'd love to have you as a member. And also remember that during this promotion, we are also giving away a $3,000 limited edition stressless chair in conjunction with Kalen's Furniture, located in Ormond Beach. Kalen's Furniture and Dr. Fon, sponsors of the Fitness Friday show. And as I say that, we're going to go to break, and we're going to come back with Dr. Fon with one of his guests and talk about the benefits and opening your mind to the benefits of acupuncture treatments. We'll see you back here in about 3 minutes.
Just as a building's foundation is critical to the structural health of that building, your shoes provide a critical foundation for your healthy and happy life. Hello, this is Russell Dotson of Dale's Shoes in Daytona Beach. And yes, it really does matter where you buy your shoes. Since 1976, Dale's Shoes in Podorthix has provided the best in customer service while offering the widest selection of shoes. Dale's highly trained staff will find the perfect fit and style with the widest selection of sizes and widths. Dale's has the largest selection of diabetic and arthritic footwear and accepts Medicare, Florida Healthcare, and Humana Insurance. Stop by anytime. We're proud of our store and proud of the service we provide. Dale's Shoes in Podorthix, 2595 West International Speedway Boulevard in Daytona Beach. You can call us at 386-252-2138.
Depend on AM 1150 WNDB, Daytona's morning news station, for the latest news where you live.
In the end, even outspoken critic Councilmember Doug Daniels voted yes for that $20 million One Daytona grant. Daniels still didn't like it much.
It probably would not pass muster in the standard of practice in Volusia County.
Leslie Taylor and the WNDB news team keep you updated all morning long. AM 1150 WNDB, Daytona's morning news.
Call 239-0033 for Fitness Friday and your host, Tasso Kyriakis. Here's Tasso.
All right, Dave, welcome back to Fitness Friday. And I just want to remind people, in talking about that article, The Myths, that will be available through our Facebook page come Monday afternoon. Miss Catalina will download it to there. And the Runner's World article, you can go to runnersworld.com and strength training myths. So, Dr. Fon, as always, it's the third Friday of every month. And we have a guest with us, Mr. Margulis, who is not Greek but says he will be because he has enough vowels in his name. And we're going to talk a little bit today about something that's become near and dear to my heart, which is arthritis pain.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your background, Mr. Margulis. Background. Like, what got you here?
Arthritis, knees. My knees are shot, completely shot.
Now, what did you do for a career before you...
I was in sales, real estate, and moving services.
Here locally or...
No, up north.
Up north, okay. So you moved down here, retired down here?
I retired down here 7 years now.
7 years, okay.
Yeah.
And so have you had some knee surgeries or that, or just chronic pain to them?
Just pain pills.
Pain pills is all. So no surgeries to the knees?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not
Hopefully not.
No.
As Dr. Fon says, instead of snip, 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 cut, 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 you come see me.
That's right. There you go. Exactly.
So tell me a little bit, how did you get to Dr. Fon? How did you find out about him? How did you go to see him?
Last year I attended a seminar.
Right.
One of the seminars, and then it got waylaid. I took the information home and set it down and forgot where I put it.
You know, he works on memory, too.
I'll need that.
So,
but anyway, this past year, I was going to have it operated on last year. And then a friend of mine had his knee operated on. He's going to have it replaced again this year. And then I went and looked through the den, found the paperwork, and called the good doctor, and here we are.
Now I've been dealing with a similar situation to your friend. I had knee surgery in November, and had complications, and I get relief when I go see Father. Too much church this week. When I go see Dr. Fon, tell me about. Did you see immediate relief? Have you seen relief on a scale of 1 to 10? What kind of relief have you seen post treatment?
The first thing I saw, the first thing that I experienced was the fact I couldn't sleep. I was at night, waking up in the middle of the night and just couldn't find a position for my knees. They just hurt. And I'd get up and raid the medicine cabinet.
Right.
You know? And then after about 2 visits, 3 visits with the good doctor here, I sleep through the night. No problem at all.
Right.
So I'm showing improvement every week.
Sleeping because you're pain-free, not because it improved your sleep. And it's improved your sleep as a result of not being in pain.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I don't have to wake up and look for the medicine cabinet any longer.
Okay.
Yeah, Tasso, he had a, because of his pain and aches on his and arthritis in his knee, it disturbed his sleep. It wake him up at night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Very frequent. So that is the best blessing that he had so far. He had seen me in several weeks, and it's improved his sleep during the night. And I think it's, without sleep, we don't live too long.
Right. Well, sleep's critical to quality
Yes,
of life. So now in your case, you I like to have people tell people about their first experience at Dr. Fahn's, because mine was completely different than what I expected to see from an acupuncture treatment. What was your first experience in going to see Dr. Fahn like? I mean, what did you after the consultation? Of course, you went for a consultation. You had your first treatment. What was it like? What did you notice in that
No pain.
after the first treatment?
No pain in the needles.
No pain in the needles. Okay,
Right.
so was that an issue for you when you first started? Did you have that phobia a lot?
It comes up. Like when I get back home, my wife said, "Does it hurt?" I said, "No," and she still doesn't believe me. But my friends ask me the same thing. Do they hurt when they put the needles? And I say, "No."
But it's amazing that there are some big tough guys too. You go like, "Hey, I got a buddy that can help you out. Let me send you down to Dr. Fahn," and they go like, "Well, what's he do?" I say, "He's an acupuncturist." He says, "Oh, I don't like needles." I go like, "Well, they're not really like needles. I mean, they are needles, but they're not like needles." He's going to tell you they're micro healing filaments, you know. And so you go down. Now, when you went that first time, did you fall asleep while you were there? Did you fall asleep while you were getting the treatment?
I come awful close every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so relaxed,
See, I was amazed at the first time I went. I went for a hip issue when I first went, and I was amazed that I laid up on the table and just fell out. I mean, I was like, I went like, huh.
Just
It's
zone
over.
out.
You sort of sitting there going, okay, I got needles and I can't move. I want to make sure I don't move. I got all those things in my leg, And I'd had the experience. Did you ever had an experience with acupuncture before?
No, this is the first time.
First time.
First
Because
time.
I'd had an experience where I went to a lesser trained physician than Dr. Fahn, and for a knee issue, as it was, and in my knee he probably put 50 within 6 inches of either side of my kneecap, probably 50. Of the little needles that he put in, and the needles themselves didn't hurt, but every time I tried to move, it was like I was hitting a nerve or something, and it would shoot up me. So I'm going like, I gotta stay still. I gotta stay still. Now I go to see Dr. Fahn, and the first time I went to see him, I explained to him. I explained to him. Number one, I hate needles. Number two is I really had a bad experience with this before when this guy worked on me. So help me out here. So he says, okay, I'm only gonna use 3 needles. I go like, 3? What's that going to do? But that night, my experience was I slept much better.
Yeah.
Instead of sleeping 15 minutes and waking up with a burning pain, I slept 90 minutes type of thing. Have you noticed any other things other than pain reduction?
I think my mobility is definitely improving.
So range of motion is
Yeah,
improving.
exactly,
And Dr. Fahn, is that range of motion improving because inflammation is going down, or is there a restorative thing going on, or is it both?
Both. Number one, we need to reduce the inflammation. Number two, we need to work on the ligaments and also improve the blood circulation. Once you improve this blood circulation and you guide the blood to the knee area, and then it flush out, the inflammations, and that one provide the flexibility. But it requires time because, Mr. Majula, how long your knees? How long do you have your knees problem?
Probably 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So see, within 15, 20 years, there's a lot of calcifications, a lot of restricted, a lot of inflammation around the joint. So it is a very complex case. It's not an easy case. If you have a sport injury who have a minor tear on ACL or MCLs, I can treat within 6 to 8 weeks. But your condition is require time little by little to help you with the pain reduction, inflammation reductions, also improve your flexibility, but it will require your patience.
Right. So Dr. Fahn, I know you have, we don't talk about this that much in the last couple of years, but you have a pretty extensive background in herbology.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, in talking to Dr. Fulton, who is now my consulting physician to help me out getting through decide what the next step is with working with you and him, is, you know, he said, listen, you need to make sure that any supplements that you can take that will lay down that raw material to help the collagen be restored and replaced. You know, I know that what you do has a restorative effect, but what about from the standpoint, Ms. Majulis, with the herbs and that have the, because I know that at one point you were making herb drinks for me to help out with other things for fatigue and stuff like
Right.
that. Is that a part of your treatment plan in the long run for people that are open to it?
Yes, absolutely. If you add in the herbology, the herbal medicines, it works better. It enhances the treatment. But the only things that I'm very cautious about is someone take coumadins. In Asian culture, it doesn't matter. You know, well, you know, it's 100% safe.
And that's an Asian culture, not in an aging culture.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. In the Asian culture, it doesn't matter about the coumadin.
Yeah. Regardless, you take, you know, what medications.
Right.
Because the herbal is natural, we prescribe it all the time. But here in American, it's more liability. That's why if you take coumadins, we don't prescribe herbal medicine because it's a big risk.
Right.
You know, if something happened, it's not the herbal, but some other medications, it affect adversely, and that's why just precautions why. But
now, coumadin is a blood thinning.
blood thinners.
Okay. So tell us, what is the effect that herbs are going to have on the coumadin? Say if you're putting your herbs together that are stimulating anti-inflammatories or that to occur.
Mostly if you work on the joints, because the herbal had dilate the blood vessel, improve the circulations. It had a very little effects on the coumadin because of the safety wise. I mean, because of the precaution or malpractice wise.
Right.
But it had a very minimum any effects on the coumadin.
And that's a generic thing for all of the for all of those anticoagulant kind of things. There's another one out there that people take. I see them.
Warfarin.
Warfarin. That's
Yes.
what I was thinking. Okay.
Warfarin.
So now back to you. Have you seen the sleep improve? That was almost instantaneously. So you could sleep more. Is the quality of the sleep? Is it a deeper sleep? Is it more where you dream more, or get more REM, or you get longer hours of sleep? What benefits come from that? And have you seen any other systemic things occur as Dr. Fahn has worked on you with your knees?
Oh, every night is a blessing now, because I don't
Right.
get up in the middle of the night other than to go to the bathroom. That's
Okay.
it. There's no pain again.
Right.
So that right there is worth it, weight in gold.
And so you probably haven't. Now, how long have you been doing the treatments?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Three
Yeah,
weeks.
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 weeks in, second treatment in, notice sleeping better right away.
Right off the
Notice better range of motion.
Yep.
Notice not as much pain during the course of the day. I imagine still some pain when you get up in the morning. It's first getting moving, just sort of getting it moving.
Old age.
Old age. You don't look that old now, so although you do have your little Jimmy Buffett style shirt on, like you're enjoying being down here in Margaritaville. So Dr. Fahn, how does he? Now, what are some of the systemic things? Because we always like to talk. It's a little early for Ms. McGarris to see it, but we've always talked. I like to talk about the systemic effects that occur to the body as you treat the inflammation issues. Okay. So we know that inflammation is the cause of all major degenerative diseases. It causes, eventually it's going to cause your diabetes, it's going to cause your heart conditions, it's going to cause high triglycerides. What are some of the effects that he should see down the road from the standpoint of being treated? Because really, people out there are going like, well, what does treating my arthritis in my knees have to do anything with how my system works? Explain that, because people sometimes don't understand that acupuncture is farther reaching than just joint pain.
Right. I think you get the point. I'm going to share with you a little more about the benefit of the points. Let's see if I use 1 point for his knee on, they call Heku, Gucci here. This point right here, it can help your arthritis, but also strengthen your immune system. Okay, so there's one point can do 3 or 4 things. That's why you see systemic effects. Okay, and if I use the point here to treat your knee, but also strengthen the ligament at the knee, so you can see the pressure point. Some of the pressure point can treat a lot. Some of the pressure point are limited to 1 or 2 conditions. Let's see if you have your sprain your lower back.
Right.
I can put a point here
Which
just to
is
treat the
between
lower
my
back.
between my eyes.
Yeah.
So people can't see that
Right,
point here on the radio.
This is called between your eye. It's they call it third eye here.
Right.
That this point can also help you relax.
Right.
And treat other conditions. So that is a common condition.
So I want to go back. I want to go back to something so people can understand. Going back to my statement about we know that, and this is why I love the stress treatments. You know, my sort of 3-pronged conversation now always starts with inflammation is the cause of all degenerative diseases. If you're taking pills, you're taking it because you have an inflammation issue going on in your body. Secondly, stress is the mother of all inflammation, which is why I'm always promoting to people they should be coming and getting a stress reduction treatment from you, Dr. Fon. If they say, oh, nothing's hurting me, I'm fine, go get a stress reduction treatment and see how much better you feel and how much finer life is. And third is by our protocols that we have at Bodez with good nutrition, strength training exercises that give attention to muscle, and some moderate aerobic exercise, we can begin to reverse the causes of stress, which in turn reverse the causes of the inflammation. In your case, you pointed to Mr. McGarris's elbow, and you said this is a point that strengthens your immune system. In reality, when you say strengthen the immune system, you actually begin to deactivate the immune system, correct? Because the immune system, what it does is it overreacts to the stimulus of what's going on, whether it be through diet, nutrition, stress in their environment. So and the body doesn't know, like a person who smokes, the immune system doesn't know that by choice, I'm causing micro trauma with every puff I take. And when I run out of puffs, I light up another one to get more puffs. They don't know, the body doesn't know, the immune system doesn't know that we're doing that by choice. So in your case, what you're doing is you're sort of down-regulating the immune system so it doesn't cause this cytokine response. Cytokines are the little ninja warriors, see, we're talking to an acupuncturist, the little ninja warriors that go to fight infection. And so the same response that responds to a cut and the redness around a cut to protect you is the same response that's stimulated at the cellular level to help the body and repairing the gut, keeping the mind healthy. All those are interrelated, as we said in my little triangle of the mind, the brain, the gut, and the immune system are all interrelated in what you do when you start to do some of these. Now, that's different from working down in the knee zone and really working on specific ligaments, which you've worked a little bit with me to get inflammation out and that type of thing.
Right.
So talk a little bit about that.
It, like you say, acupuncture can be very dynamic. It can treat things that you can't imagine. Some of them we talk about is help people with cancers, because cancers, let me tell you this, who had received a lot of chemos and radiations, the white blood cells go down.
Right. And
there's a pressure point, increase the white blood cells. It's very important.
And let's stay to our point, Dr. Fon, for a moment. Let's backtrack. What is cancer? Cancer is an inflammation that occurs to where the inflammation affects the cell, to where the cell's receptor sites cannot communicate with the outside. So that cell has gone through its natural process. It has waste material in it. It now can't communicate to get rid of that waste material. It can't carry on normal cellular process because the inflammation is like your knee. Your knee gets so inflamed you can't bend your knee, so you can't walk right? Well, the cells are the same way. They get so inflamed that now the cell's natural intelligence goes, what am I going to do? Well, the cell has two choices. It either dies or it mutates. When the cell mutates, that's called cancer. Right. Okay? So again, when you say, people teased me years ago because I didn't really understand although I knew the science, it was intuitive to me. I didn't understand the science like I do over the last 5 years, and that is that when people tease me and go, you think that exercise can cure cancer, and I would go, well, as a matter of fact, I do, but I really can't. Well, now I can tell them why, because we understand this whole inflammation, immune response situation. And that's why you can say you can help diabetes. You can help heart conditions. You can help hormonal imbalances. You can help mental disorders. You can help cholesterol. You can help cancer. You can help the system increase white blood cell counts. I mean, you can make a longer list than I can. You can help traumatic injuries. You can help chronic injuries. So that's why I want to try and drive the point that although acupuncture has a very mystical background to us, like you said to me the first time I came into you, this is like quantum physics, okay? And I said, well, I understand quantum physics, Dr. Fonso, explain it to me. But the reality is that there is really great science that is Western science that explains how acupuncture works when you look at what happens at all these points that you have and you work with and that type of thing.
Because I think, as I mentioned to Mr. Machulis, I believe acupuncture therapy is a viable option and a great therapy, but it just like the public doesn't have the limit of the opportunity to expose to acupuncture and also limited education. And beside that, acupuncture therapy is a very, very complex therapy. It's not a straightforward therapy.
Right.
You have to study your body inside out, and you need to know the procedure. That's mean the orders, how you put it in, the orders, how you take it out, but also the combination, how to get the body balanced. Because you need to restore the body into the homeostasis, or we call normalizations.
Right.
If there's inflammations or there's stress because of sympathetic, parasympathetic, autonomic nervous system, or certain organ is out wax. When certain organ or system out wax, what happened? The chemical input and output is off balance. Let me tell you one thing. When you had a chronic stress or anxiety or depression, anything would have involved with mentally, emotionally, what happened? The HCl, hydrochloric acid in your stomach, it may produce more or less. So what happened? If they produce too much, what happened? You have a gastritis, the inflammation of the stomach. If you produce too little, it's alkalized. It cannot digest food, so we call indigestions, bloating, gas. So acupuncture normalize the HCl. If you speak in terms of the organ treatment.
And that's HCl, hydrochloric acid.
Yeah, HCl.
Right.
Okay, so that why, and another example is thyroid. If you have hypo, what happened? T3 and T4 doesn't produce enough, and hyper, they produce too much. So acupuncture play a role of repair the body, but also regulate and normalize the internal system of the human body. So hopefully in the future, I like to shed some knowledge how these points or combination to normalize the conditions.
And let's backtrack just a moment. You said that we lack. You made the statement we lack education.
Yes,
and that's
we
a
do.
twofold lacking of education. Number one is that people sometimes will go to acupuncturists who are good, competent people in their skill set that they have. They are chiropractors, they're massage therapists, they're osteopaths, whatever they are. And they have an interest in acupuncture because they know it has wonderful healing effects. So they went and they took a 1 month, 1 weekend, 6 week. It's sort of like personal training. You know, you can go on the internet today, and by this afternoon you can be a certified personal trainer. Doesn't mean squat, but you studied a few things about exercise, so you got a personal trainer's degree, okay, or certificate. So people should understand that you are a acupuncture physician. This is what you have studied. This is what you've done, along with your herbology background that you have. It has not been that you are a chiropractor or you are something else that decided acupuncture is a pretty cool thing. So I think people need to understand that there is a skill set difference between people offering the service of acupuncture because I have two massage therapists I work with. Both understand acupuncture. They both understand myofascial release. They both understand trigger point myotherapy. But I would never put either one of them up against my trigger point myotherapist, either one of those guys who are very versed, and that's all they've done for. One done it for 30 years and the other's done it for 10 years. That's all they do. That's all you do is study how acupuncture. The other part is on an education side that as we as a population do not educate ourselves to the alternative medicines. Again,
Absolutely.
it goes back to that mystical thing. So now I'm going to call Mr. Majerus back in. And so now become the voice of education to people who have had limited exposure and have the fears like we've talked about. I don't like needles. I don't like this. What would you say to people if you said, you know what, I know you hurt, and I know a guy who can help you, and short of I'm going to pay for it for you, so go do it. How would you convince your friend or friends to go see Dr. Fahn for acupuncture with their issues?
I accepted it. I tried it out. I tell all my friends the same thing, you know. Try it.
Yeah. In your case, you were open-minded. See, Dr. Fahn's big drive for this is he wants people to be open-minded about looking at the opportunity of what acupuncture can do for them. And in your case, you know, I have a saying, you're going to go see Dr. Fahn when you're in enough pain to go see Dr. Fahn.
Right.
You were in enough pain.
Yes,
You know,
that's exactly right.
you said, do anything because the next thing I'm willing to do is cut my knees off.
That's right.
Right.
That was it. That was the option.
You know,
Yes.
I have times when my knee hurts so bad I want to go, I'm just going to get the damn thing amputated. You know, that's not a practical or realistic solution for me, right?
No, not at all.
But
not at all.
but the pain gets to that level that's what we want to do.
Yes,
And so in your case, you got to that point where you said this pain has opened my mind.
Right. Exactly.
And so hopefully from your experience here, someone out there will say, you know what, I need to go try it, because really, you know, you're a pretty simple guy with it. You're really basic in your approach to it. I had pain. I went to see Dr. Fahn, and you know, my wife asked me about the pain of the needles. I said, "Don't hurt. You don't believe me, but I'm getting relief, so I keep going back." Right? That's pretty much the process of the system. And I bet when you sold stuff, you said, "Hey, here it is. You want to buy it? This is the price." Right? There's no Tom Hopkins sales course going, "You want the alternative choice?"
You know, Tasso, I share with Mr. Machula is you know, three of my challenges being a acupuncturist physician is number one is the public has limited exposure to acupuncture, limited of receiving education, and the third is the medical doctors. I deal with a lot of medical doctors. I mean, I treat about 20, 30 medical doctors who have a different issue, but I'm very fortunate that these doctors are open-minded, and I treat 2 neurosurgeons. So, and I wish that, and I hope in the future that medical doctors say, you know what, do whatever it takes to get you better, improving your pains, improving your sleep. It doesn't matter. And acupuncture had a great science background. There's thousands of clinical research out there. You can research yourself, but you know, some doctors are not open-minded to it. So you, as the patients, have to make up your minds, explore for yourself.
And you know, we're especially now with the Obamacare that's moved in. I mean, I believe what we're going to find is one of the throw-offs of the Obama administration's health care initiative is that what's going to happen is we're going to have to become responsible for our health to a larger degree. Because otherwise we're going to be waiting for someone to say, oh, it's okay for you to have this procedure that you heard about. And I think it's just like in my case with my knee. I don't know what my insurance is going to cover, so guess what I do? I go see Dr. Fahn. I go see Leslie Burton. I go see Jay McMahon. I go see Marty Hurt, my trigger point myotherapist. I go see all those people. And today I'm going to go see Dr. Mike Epitropoulos for microcurrents, you know, to help with the inflammation in my knee. We will go out and we will seek out, we will educate ourselves to alternative methods for healing. And this is what it is. And the reason the mind works better, I just want to go to this. The reason the mindset and if people have depression can work is there is a response that stress brings of inflammation to the brain, which
Absolutely.
you now can control. We have 3 minutes, Dr. Fahn, so let's give them the information to contact you. A closing statement from Mr. Majerus. You get time to think about it this time. I'm not going to throw it on you. Okay, so your closing comments to encourage people to come see you, and the phone number and that.
You know, we offer a free consultation. Our phone number is 615-1203, 615-1203. We offer a free consultation, free examination. To treat or not is up to you. But we just want to have an opportunity to see what I can do for the community. And you have a friends and families who's a veteran. We're going to offer on every either Tuesday or Wednesday. will be a free treatment for all the veterans between 5 p.m. to 6:30, and that program will kick off in any time soon.
Okay. And then let's make us a closing statement for you. What's your closing thing? What's your takeaway for everybody on this thing? And don't say if you're in pain, go see Dr. Fine, because I've already done that 84 times for you.
No, try it.
Explore for yourself, right?
Yeah, that's it. Try it.
Okay.
I'm so glad I did.
All right, Dr.
Working well
Fine.
for me. Thank you.
Dr. Fine, I appreciate you being a sponsor of the show. You and Kalen's Furniture are my sponsors this quarter. Kalen's Furniture is helping us give away a beautiful $3,000 chair to the lucky member who refers the most friends to the club and gets them in. So hopefully we have a lot of people out there who are going to call and take advantage of our $14 offer. And they should come see you for a program and get an introductory program put together that gives them a little sampling, just like what's happened to Ms. McGarrett. Second treatment in, was able to sleep without getting up for the medicine box to get rid of pain at night. Arthritis, which is affecting just about everybody who is listening to this broadcast. The phone number is 615-1203. He's located on West Granada, 725 West Granada, next to Loman's Funeral Home. I'm Tasso Kyriakis, and it's 672-6464 for Bodez by Tasso and Company Personalized Fitness, where we start your fitness where you're at and we get you where you want to be. Same thing as here. You start people where they're at in pain, and you get them out of pain where they want to be. So I hope everybody has a joyful and wonderful Passover, Easter, and if it's just a spring break for you, then it's just a spring break for you. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy this wonderful weekend that we're going to have.
Happy Easter, everybody.
AM 1150 WNDB, Daytona Beach, Daytona's morning news station. Locally owned and operated by Southern Stone Communications.